Hey, this is Kevin Sharp Outdoors, and this is a video response to a Facebook bumper sticker that I received the other day. It is entitled, "We're in!" 100% all in! It has 20,876 idiots, people who like it on Facebook. Like I said, I received this on my Facebook page. It was sent to me by somebody, so I felt the need to respond to it because it was so ridiculous when I read it, and obviously that people don't know what they're talking about. So let me get right to it, and we're going to go point by point, and I'm going to issue my own responses to that. The first thing is, on the bumper sticker it says, and it is a saying that Second Amendment people say all the time, quote, "Guns don't kill people, people kill people," unquote. I absolutely agree with that statement. My counterpoint to that is that I have never seen a gun load itself and go on a shooting spree. Have you? I mean, it's just a common sense thing. Guns don't kill people. It's the people behind the trigger that kills people, and usually it takes a person with a very sick, demented mind to do things like that. And when I say sick, I'm not talking about, the way they try to make these people out to be. Oh, he was just, he was so depressed, his kitty cat died and he decided he was going to go kill a bunch of kids. I'm not talking about that kind of, that's not sick, that's demented. That's someone who has absolutely zero respect for human life. And it's just awful. What they're trying to do here is, the progressives are trying to place blame of mass shootings or shootings in general on legal, responsible gun owners and not on criminals who commit them. And it's something that they are continually trying to do. They're trying to make every gun owner out to be a criminal, and that's just not the way it is. I've seen another interesting bumper sticker that said, for every act of terrorism, the Obama administration and the progressives say, oh, we can't blame all Muslims for something a few do. Well, why doesn't that apply to gun owners here in America? Very interesting question, doesn't it? Because it doesn't fit their agenda. It doesn't work for their agenda, so they're not going to do that. Going on, it says, well, no shit, excuse my language, we want mandatory safety courses for people, not guns. Okay. My counterpoint to that is that most responsible gun owners voluntarily take safety courses, including myself. I've taken safety courses. Usually when you buy a gun, in the booklet it has safety instructions, the shooter's Bible, as it says. I mean, most people, if you grow up, with guns in the house, your parents teach you how to be responsible around guns and how to be safe around with guns. It's a common sense thing. It already exists. I mean, it's just, it's ridiculous. Once again, progressives are trying to place blame on legal, responsible gun owners. It's just, beyond me, you know, that anybody. I mean, I know, yeah, there are some knuckleheads out there who do some stupid things, and usually they're young teenagers who shouldn't have the guns to begin with. But you know, yet again, it's you blame the whole mass of gun owners for something very few do, and it's ridiculous. It already exists. Moving on. We want more thorough background checks of people, not guns. Thorough background checks are already performed on legal responsible gun owners. These background checks, both legal background and your mental background. Every time you go and purchase a weapon from a federal firearms licensed dealer, they have to perform a background check on you. If you have ever been convicted of a felony, or if you have ever been institutionalized, you cannot buy a weapon. You cannot buy a gun. Period. End of story. The background check, here we go again, it already exists. So why do the progressives still want this? We're getting to that. Moving on to the next point. We want stricter negligence penalties imposed on people, not guns. That's almost laughable, folks, because I'm fixing to tear this apart. Okay, here we go. And my bad. Well, I'll get back to point 3 again, too. I want to make another point about that. But negligence penalties already exist. It is called murder, manslaughter, homicide, assault with a deadly weapon. Penalties include long prison terms, life in prison, and death. Folks, I don't think it gets any stricter than that. They already exist. They are already there. And death is about as bad a punishment as you can get, unless there is a progressive God somewhere that wants to send you to a progressive hell. I mean, it just, I don't see, I mean, those penalties are as bad as you can get. And also there's civil negligence as well. So, I mean, you've already got strict penalties if you misuse a firearm. Plain simple. Progressives want to force, in this instance, I think, the liability insurance on gun owners to make it harder for legal responsible gun owners to possess firearms. And to be able to use your firearms. They want to make it as hard as they can for you to own a gun and for you to be able to use that gun. And that seems to be the big thing they wanted to do after Sandy Hook. Oh, these gun owners, they're so crazy and wild out here. Well, they need to have $1 million worth of insurance on them just to own a gun. Own each gun. Ridiculous. They want to put insurance on everything nowadays. I mean, it's a ridiculous notion in itself. I wanted to go back to the background check thing real quick. Because I'm sorry, folks, but criminals either steal their firearms or they get them through illegal means. They're just trying to make it harder for legal responsible gun owners to buy firearms with the background checks and stuff. And eventually that will lead to registration and eventually confiscation. So I had to go back and touch on that because I forgot to bring that part in here. Okay. Got my talking points here. So let's move on to the last insult that they hurled at us here. If you're stupid enough to think activists are pissed at guns, you're too stupid to own one. Okay, here we go. Let me counter this one. Okay, I'm talking to you, Mr. Progressive. Mr. Activists, whatever you want to call yourselves, you're progressives. You are mad at freedom. You are activists, but you're something else as well. You are progressives. Progressives want big or total government. To achieve that, you must eliminate the Constitution and the Bill of Rights. And in that Bill of Rights is the Second Amendment, written in especially for you, Mr. and Miss Progressive. It gives the people, the militia, a means to defend itself against you, the tyrants. And yes, you are pissed at guns and everything else the Bill of Rights of the United States Constitution represents. That's freedom. Once the right to bear arms is gone, so goes free speech, religion, press, searches and seizures, etc., all the way through the Bill of Rights. Once the right to bear arms is gone, the road to subjugation and eventual slavery begins. Once total government begins, even you, Mr. and Miss Progressive, will be subject to that ends. So after that, who are the stupid ones? The ones who gave up our freedoms away on a silver platter, or the ones who stood up and tried to fight for it. They don't want gun control, they want people control. They want gun registration and eventual confiscation. Because the simple fact of the matter is these progressives who send this stuff out, who are ill-informed and misguided, believe that eventually one day when they achieve this means that those upper echelon progressives who want to be the man, the people in charge, they're going to get something from them. Some of them might. Some of them, might be put in the head of, like some of these government agencies to oversee people, down here on the bottom. But for the most part, Mr. and Miss Progressive, you're going to be down there with us in subjugation, which means after you give up your means to defend yourself, you're going to be subject to whatever they decide they want you to do. And if you do your research, Mr. and Miss Progressive, on the progressive movement, some of the stuff will scare you senseless. It is absolutely frightening, some of the things that progressives and believers in strong, hard core central government believe. Just all you got to do is look at Russia. All you got to do is look at Nazi Germany. All you got to do is look at China. I mean, the list just goes on and on throughout our history of what strong dictators have done to the people in their subjugation. We were lucky enough that when we came over here from Britain, we brought weapons. And those weapons gave us a means to our freedom. And without those weapons, we would still be subjects to the British throne. Plain simple. I mean, this once I got looking at this bumper sticker and I realized what it was, it's basically 20,876 people who say, we back Obama. We're in. We're all in. Yeah, we'll see about that whenever the progressive total government comes into being, how in you are. You're not going to be as in as you think. Matter of fact, I'm pretty sure most of those 20,876 people, you're going to be right in the same boat we will be in. So start thinking with your own brain for a second. Start thinking things through. Instead of thinking you're going to have some kind of utopia, it's not going to be that way. It's just going to be a dictatorship. It's Kevin Sharp. I appreciate y'all viewing this. I appreciate all your comments. I appreciate, even if you disagree with me, remember the golden rule. Please subscribe to my channel, and y'all have a good day.